This is Anthony. Let's sit and talk. By the way, if you enjoy the content, please like, share, and subscribe. I'd be grateful. So today we're going to talk about one aspect, the spiritual aspect of the twin flame journey, its purpose. Now, there are a lot of folks out there who really work in the twin flame space. This is my goal and purpose here is not to strictly work in the twin flame space, is to explain one aspect of the spiritual journey, the purpose of the twin flame. So my understanding and understanding through my journey of the twin flame is not about the relationship aspect. It is not about the other being. In the beginning, it can't help but to be about the other being, because you get into a relationship and you feel love that you have never felt before, and you do everything you can in order to grasp and hold on to that love, to do everything, every aspect of life in order to attain and that love. But what most people find is it's fleeting, it's not possible. And the reason why is because the divine masculine, or we'll call them the DM, their purpose and your purpose for them is meant to pull you out of ego. It's meant to show you ego. It's meant to show you the masks that you've been wearing. It's meant to show you the false self. It's meant to show you the programmed being that you've become. And it's also meant, and this is almost most important, to show you all of the unhealed shadow self that you have within you. That is one of the most important aspects of it, because that is what actually takes you to what is known as the dark night of the soul. Personally, I prefer to call it the dark night of the ego, because essentially what it is it's an ego death, and it happens pretty rapidly after the relationship ends. You begin to look in the mirror and realize that what you're seeing is not you, and you start to question who you are. And from my experience, the first time I went through the dark night of the soul, it was frightening. It was very scary. It was a difficult time. Looking at self and realizing, oh my God, none of who I thought I was, I am. It really helped to push me on my healing journey, and helped me and allowed me to focus in on specific things that I was denying in terms of my shadow self. Allowed me to really focus in on some of those traumas, and allowed me to heal those traumas in a much more succinct and easier manner. And once those traumas were healed, for lack of a better word, and I've spoken about this in past videos, it's like my heart chakra just blew open. And I went from a being that loathed people, especially himself, to a being that suddenly I loved everyone, and I had this love for self, and I couldn't explain it. And things changed for me dramatically. They changed for me in terms of even looking at my former self, realizing that person no longer existed, realizing that person wasn't, that wasn't just another aspect of self that didn't exist. I didn't exist in that being. There was a lot of ancient texts that talk about things like soul loss, and doing the shadow work to allow the soul to re-enter the body, things like that. Those are very similar experiences that I had. And so I would honestly say that without that catalyst, I am not sure whether or not I would have stepped onto the spiritual journey. So, for me, I'm forever grateful for that experience, even though it was a very difficult one, because it did allow me to start to understand and understand the aspects of myself, the whole spiritual journey, the plane that we exist in, and my role, like who I am, and what I'm here understanding and learning. And all those things have absolutely nothing to do with the other person, but it absolutely does take time to kind of move past the ego and the attachment of what you think it's about. So I share this because for those who possibly are on the twin flame journey, I want you to know as you're going through and you're learning to understand what's happening to you, it's important to understand that it is not about the other person. It never was about the other person. It has always been about self, about you, about learning about who you really are, and about truly learning about unconditional love, not only for self, but for another being. And then as you traverse that path, the hope is that that understanding of unconditional love will not only be for you and that other being, but it will spread to everyone on this plane. So I hope this helps to answer questions. I appreciate several of the comments that we've gotten. If you have more, I would love to answer questions. And until I talk to you again, peace, love, have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon.